This week we will be diving into looking at place value with decimals. Now this might seem a little bit familiar to what we've already done, and for the most part it's nothing that you haven't seen. So let's look at our example. 626 and 453 thousandths. The first part of our assignment today is to write it in standard form. And remember, standard form simply means write the number. So we have 626. So I will put 626. And then we see that little and 400. And means we put a decimal. 453 thousandths. And based on your place value knowledge from 4th grade, you know that since we have 3, that's thousandths. That's part 1. Now we have to put it in expanded form. Just like with our whole numbers, we're going to do the same thing. However, you'll notice when we get to the decimal part, it will look just a little bit different. So I'll get parentheses. Oops, wrong place. Parentheses. 6 times 1 with 2 zeros. And we don't count after the decimal. We just count before the decimal. Plus, parentheses, 2 times 1 with 1 zero. Plus, parentheses, 6 times 1. Now, for the most part, you guys are like, oh, I get it. No big deal, right? So now we have to get to the point where we have the and. And this is where you're going to see a little bit of change. So, we are going to get plus, parentheses, because we're still going across the board, 4 times 1 over 10. Now we don't count zeros here, we count how many places it is after the decimal. So in this case, here's a decimal, it's the first one after, so we have 1 0. Plus, close parentheses, 5 times 1 over, we have 1 2, so we get 1 2. Plus, parentheses, 3 times 1 over 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Close parentheses. And that is how we put it in expanded form. So now we're ready to move on to base 10. Everything is the same that we're used to. We just added the decimals and they look a little bit different. So for base 10, we get parentheses 6 times 10. There are 2 zeros, so we put a 2. Plus, parentheses, 2 times 10 to the 1, close parentheses, plus 6 times 10 to the 0. Now, you guys are used to seeing that, so we don't really have anything that is brand spanking new for the first whole number part. But now we get to our decimal part, so we get plus, parentheses, 4 times 10 to the minus 1. And it's minus 1 because it's one number after the decimal point. Then we keep going. Plus 5 times 10 to the minus 2 plus 3 times 10 to the minus 3. That is our base 10 form. So we move to our last new part, and that is going to be our pictorial form. Now, pictorial just simply means a picture. So we're going to be looking at our number that's up here in standard form, and we're going to do it down here. So for 6 hundredths, and you guys learned in first grade that we represent hundredths using cute little boxes. So that's 6 hundredths. 6 is here. Now for our tens, they're long sticks. And then for our ones, they're little teeny tiny boxes. Some would say that they would just use dots. But they're not the same size as these, because this is actually 10 rows of 10. So now we move to the new part, which is our decimal part. And it's very similar to the whole numbers, but it's just a little bit different. So now we're going to start our pictures over. So tenths, we have 4. And I'm going to draw 4 of those. Hundredths, they are going to be our rows like this. And we have 5 of them. And then our thousandths is 3, and they're going to be the tiny, tiny squares. Some of you are probably sitting wondering, why is this the way it is? Well, it's simple. Thousandths is a teeny tiny part. Just imagine if you had a candy bar and you broke it up into 1,000 little pieces. That's the little part. But here, it's a little bit bigger because you're only breaking it up into hundredths. And then here, it's even bigger because it's tenths. So decimals, as they move to the right, get smaller. Whole numbers, as they move to the left, get larger. I'm sure you're probably going to have to stop this video and watch it a couple of times because we have covered a lot. We have covered how to write a decimal using the words in standard form. We've used the words and put it in expanded form. We've also touched on base 10 form and a pictorial model. Hopefully this helps you. I will post another video with another example so that you will have more than one example to look at. Thank you.